and we are live. Come one, come all, nothing but love, nothing but respect. You know what we do, what we don't, what we is, what we isn't, and what we is here today, bringing you guys and girls One Piece chapter 1048. I have been a little bit busy today, hence why I haven't been able to get the stream out earlier. Unfortunately, I worked back until about 20 minutes ago, so I've only just gotten off work and just managed to walk through the door, have a change of clothes, put a big smile on my face, and get straight into this. So that being said as well, before we get into it, you know what to do, you know what's appreciated at this point in time. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this, and comment in the comment section down below. Alright, get in the chat, get active, talk. We're going to get straight into the greatness that is One Piece, alright? And we're picking up here with One Piece chapter 1048, 20 years later. If you haven't read the chapter and you want to read the chapter along with me, alright, the link to the chapter is in my Discord. The link to the Discord is in the description down below. Do yourself that little favor, right? Go join the Discord. It's only 2 clicks away, and it'll save you so much time in your life, and you'll get notifications whenever chapters drop, okay? So do yourself that little bit of a favor, and yeah, let's get into it. So, Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 10, is Germa trying to infiltrate Chocolate Town again. Now, this is interesting, because they're definitely trying to imply that the figures we saw were Ichiji and Reiju, which makes a lot of sense. But it's interesting that they still haven't shown who those figures were. And yo, I love it. We get to see Cracker here. He's still bandaged up though, which is definitely an interesting thing. So he's still alive, which is very important and has me very happy. Yo, Kuma Castle in the chat. Good to see you, my guy. Hi. Yo, I'm actually happy to see Cracker here. He looks his age here though, more so than he did in Whole Cake Island, because I know he's in his 40s. Man is not a super spry chicken, but he is what he is. Interestingly enough, I've actually often questioned this, whether or not Ichiji's lasers are as potent as, say, Frankie's or a Pacifista's lasers, and whether or not they would actually be able to penetrate one of the crackers. So if this really is Ichiji and Reiju rocking up to fight and they're gonna 2v1 cracker, I'm super excited to see whether or not we actually get to see the laser beams penetrate those crackers, because that'd be a really cool and interesting dynamic that I don't think we've really covered. And it's always good to see my favorite twig, Brulee. Everyone loves Branch. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of why everyone's here and everyone's excited. All right, we're picking up with the colossal get out of town punch that was the end of last chapter, and it's looking even bigger here. It from this perspective shot, it looks almost the same size as Onigashima. And it's probably pretty close to Onigashima, but like again, Onigashima's in the foreground, so if they're the same size, the fist is actually a little bit bigger, which is stupendous. It's absolutely stupendous. But yo, move Onigashima out of the way. Luffy, wait, that can't be done. Momo's answer, yo, we got little baby Momo chilling on the side, doing his thing. It's not. I know you will find a way to remove the Kozuki... To revive the Kozuki clan in the future. Ugh! And Momo bangs his head into Onigashima and he's trying to push it back. Meanwhile, Luffy's here just like, yo, these hands are rated E for everybody. Now get your ass out here, Kaido. Yo, the stare down here is beautiful. I love it. And Kaido's looking up with the shittiest of shit-eating grins, just like... I love it. Oh, that made my throat sore. Very well. I'll take this one head on. Have you heard, Straw Hat? The country's hero burned to death 20 years ago. My dude Kaido out here, confident as shit he's gonna win, and is also just like, throw it. Throw your best punch. I'll take it on the chin. I'll take it head on. I won't move out the way. Alright? That energy, that's that Doflamingo energy. Except that's from a man that can back that shit up. I love it. Like, Doflamingo was there just like, I'll take it head on. But I'll also put a shield up and stab you a little bit. Kaido's just like, bring it. Bring it on. Yo! Yo! Flaming Drum Dragon. This has been a lawless land since then. They've waited all this time for you saviors to show up. My man's turned magma! Wait. Wait. Wait! Wait a minute. What? Wait a minute! Yo! What? It took me a second to realize that. Kaido turns into a magma dragon, but yo, the magma leeches out of his mouth. And you see Kaido. Kaido's like, you know, about the size of between the two eyes of Onigashima here, right? The magma pours out of his mouth and coats around him. And he makes a fucking lava dragon golem. I say lava because it looks like Akainu's magma here. He makes a golem entity around him out of magma. Or he changes from like this big to this big and engulfs himself in magma. Like, this is either a size change or like he's doing the whole Magellan golem sort of thing. Because you see like Kaido's inner section there. Like, you see a little Kaido head on the forehead of the bigger Kaido head, but that could have just be like he's expanding or he's coating himself in this. The magma burns Luffy's hands. Don't worry, it's okay to let go, puff puff. I assure you, I won't run. After all, your right hand won't come crashing down. And he melts through Onigashima's head! Through... Woo! My dude just melts through the other horn, the good horn that Zoro didn't cut off. Because I'm going to vaporize it. Yo, kanji means great blazing dragon torch. Phonetically, it sounds like Keian Daiko, the flaming drum. A classic Rakugo tale. Yo, so Luffy's out here as a goddamn god. Drums of liberation beating. And Kaido's out here like, you ain't the only one with drums, boy! But I brought the heat! Wow, so Kaido went from a monstrously beast to a completely untouchable fire monstrosity. Yo, 100%! He just laced himself up in magma. Yo, that's gonna throw my whole... I've got a whole thing I'll have to bring up later about Akainu here, but yo, Kaido's a beast, baby! Like, I'll let that happen. Gamu Gamu no Rising Dragon! What you call Haki is known as Rio. Here in Wano, Gramps taught me how to attack without making contact. I'm gonna knock you to the bottom of hell. Yo, and you hear the ringing of Luffy doing the Kongan fist dropping back into itself, getting that spring tension. Bajarangun! Blazing Bagua! What is this clash? Yo, and Luffy's got his good hand up covering his eyes. The Conqueror's Haki meeting in the middle. Reference to Bajrang Bali. Hanuman, the Hindu monkey god. Potentially the inspiration for Sun Wukong. Kanji means Monkey King. Yo, so Luffy's punch is the Monkey King fist! Yo, let's go! Let's go! Oh, we cut away. No, okay, I gotta sit on this for a second. What if he's emanating so much heat? Wouldn't Kaido unintentionally burn the bombs in the lower floors that Yamato throws? Yo, that's a possibility, Kuma. That is, for sure, a possibility. Oh no, Kiku. I didn't mean to drop you. Please be alive. Don't go dying on me now. Yo, and Kin's out cold. Lights out. Sir Straw Hat, we're counting on you. Take Kaido down. Finish him for good. This nightmare won't end unless Kaido is driven from this land. Odin-sama, his retainers are getting away. Don't let a single one escape. Run. Odin-sama, don't look back. Odin-sama. Oh, and that's the start of the race there. The bang. That's sad. Interesting that Kiku's the one that we hone in on, because it looks like she's looking. She is looking over her shoulder in that panel where they're running away. Turns around, starts crying. There is only one place a samurai would go. Kuri. They intend to safeguard Odin's heir Momonosuke. So he has a son. I'll deal with him myself. Please have mercy. Stop hunting the Kozuki clan. Ooh! And Mr. Creatine's just slapping the citizens about. Don't hesitate to shoot the vermin. Don't hesitate to shoot any vermin that dares defy the Shogun. Kya. What of Odin's wife? She was confirmed dead in Bakura Town. No one else was seen fleeing the ruins of Odin Castle. Yo, so she's confirmed dead. Good luck. Any theories that Toki was alive? The Kozuki line is officially dead. Now the time has come for you Daimo to choose. Will you help us usher in a new Wano? Or will you try to wage war? A stupid question. Yo, and we've got all the Daimo, including Shimotsuki and Yasui. We refuse to recognize a Shogun that isn't a Kozuki. It is our duty to avenge Odin. Ooh! And Kaido. Kaido is not a merciful god. He just blast breaths the town. Vaporizing these poor people. All while Orochi's laughing his ass off to himself. Weaklings. It would be an insult to call any of you samurai. Shut your bitch ass, buck teeth, ugly short faced ass up. Damn it, if only that fool didn't have Kaido backing him. Quiet, Orochi has ears everywhere. Kaido's forces will find us. Track down every able-bodied young man you can. Yo, and that's them putting them to work in the mines. Huh, this entire country will become our weapons factory. Wait, please don't take him. Daddy, who do you think you're mouthing off to? Why has the river gone dark? Yo, and... Oh no. There's no more drinking water. The crops won't grow. Yo, and they're crying. And there's nothing left to eat. I'm pretty sure this is the woman and her child that we saw at the beginning of the arc. Up there on the left, which is sad. But I think it's possibly a different person down here on the right. Looks like a different kimono and that. But yeah, there's a noose. There's bones scattered about the place. Wano is just turned. Honestly, that beating sun, that looks fresh, and I mean fresh, out of the Australian outback. And those factories smogging away, that is a depressing sight. If you can still breathe, you can still work. Keep your hands moving, you scum. The borders are staying closed. Don't count on any miracles coming to save you. We have to be patient. It will be a long winter. But we have to believe in Toki-sama's words. Look at these gluttonous fools, Kaido. They actually ate the leftovers of the defective smile fruits. Yo, poor lady's even missing her teeth. This is sad. At that point, Kaido doesn't really care about the samurai, as without Odin, he ain't no one to properly entertain him. Yo, 100%. 100%. That's it. Let's have the rest of Ibitsu Town follow suit. Their bellies will stay empty, and their loved ones will continue to keel over. But they won't be able to do anything except grin brightly. They'll never stop laughing. That's sad. Got the starving kids just laughing. It's a perfect fate for this country's pests. Yo, and we... Let's go! We got to the modern day. Please tell me this bitch Orochi's about to get blasted into oblivion. Curse you, Kumurasaki. Goofafaha. I'm taking you with me. You shouldn't have underestimated the wrath of the Kurozumi clan. Yo, I love the parallels here between Orochi and Kaido in that sort of flaming, silhouetted state. Like, that is actually visually a great connection. I'll be seeing you in hell. We can drink together down there. Ooh! Seems things are getting out of hand here. Oh, okay. I saw the sword and I thought Hiyori was about to kill him and I was like, yes! I've been waiting for this for so long! But no, that's not Hiyori, because it seems like someone else has come here, so I'm going to assume it's Denjiro, Mr. Who You Been. Yeah. Yo, and that's that's Orochi's last head. Yeah, and he cuts him clean. Yo! I love this. Oh, this is the last page too, yo. Denjiro comes out of nowhere, holds his little niece dear to his heart, cuts the head off of Orochi. That's fitting. Like, Denjiro was definitely one of the contenders to be worthy of getting the kill on Orochi here. Cuts his head clean off, and we see the townsfolk letting the lanterns off into the sky. Please make Orochi disappear. And Denjiro's not breaking a sweat. He's not cracking a smile or anything. This is literally just a finally he is done. And it's fitting. How many times did Denjiro protect Orochi? It is honestly fitting that the person that got the last hit in on him was Denjiro. Yo, and Orochi's head drops to the floor, and that looks like lights out. Kumurasaki's looking on. And we've got two more lanterns going up in the sky. Free us from hell. Give me a sip of clear water. Yo, and we literally... we cut to the sky. There is an ungodly amount of energy emanating larger than the size of Onigashima itself between Luffy and Magma Kaido's clash here. The present hears the cries of the past. is it weird to say with how much Conqueror's Haki in that, it makes little sense that they're not splitting the skies while doing this? Like, they're making, like, a bright clash of, like, Kaido's magma, which is, I mean, shit, I actually didn't even think about that. Is Kaido Conqueror's Hakiing up his magma? Because they don't make contact, do they? They're both using Rio. So Kaido goes into his bigger magma form. Burns Luffy, which is important. Magma still hurts Luffy. Okay? It may not just completely, like, de-atomize his hand or vaporize his hand. But, it does still hurt him to the touch. So, there we go. But, yo, they clash. I think Kaido's, like, almost like doing a borrow breath. But with the magma. And it's infused with Conqueror's Haki while Luffy's clashing with the Conqueror's Haki punch. And it's not splitting the sky, but you can see a heap of heat, energy, and light coming off it. I want to say that after Luffy... Oh, bruh, can we finally confirm a proper villain death this arc? Yo, I hope that's the end of Orochi. Like, that's... That... It's not the way I would have picked, but it's fitting enough. I want to say that after Luffy beats Kaido, he's gonna spiral out of the sky and land on the Odin balloon that's floating down in the city. Ooh, that would be kind of pretty. I also want to add that people aren't fainting left and right from the absurd amount of Conqueror's Haki that it's being used. Yo, see, people aren't fainting left and right, and the weather's not splitting. Like, I mean, shit, arguably there was more Conqueror's Haki put into Luffy's first proper, like, Conqueror's Haki clash with Kaido where it split the sky. So I'm like, doesn't always split the sky. Okay, interesting. But, it's interesting scale-wise here. Because Kaido, like I said, Kaido's about in between the two... Like, Luffy's fist in the first panel is clear... Like, for starters, we're underneath Onigashima, but Luffy's fist is clearly the size of Onigashima here. Right? Only for when they start to clash. Like, Kaido's head is close to the size of Luffy's fist. Like, 3 or 4... Like, Kaido's like 3 or 4 times smaller than Luffy's fist. But, like, yo, Kaido's head here... that means, like, Kaido's head here is only, like, a quarter the size of Onigashima itself. That is huge! Ridiculously huge! And then, when they actually start clashing, it looks like Kaido's gotten to the size of Luffy's fist. So I don't know if Luffy, like, on the clash, Luffy's fist has started to shrink, or if Kaido's just, like, buffed himself up with all the creatine and magma he can. Because, like, I mean, shit, this chapter essentially just confirmed that he can change his side willy-nilly, which is something that I have been questioning in the past, because Kaido's size has been inconsistent. But it makes sense. Like, it could have been, like, an Oda's perspective issues, but, like, when Kaido's changed his size in the past, it seems like he's changed himself, like, he's actively changed his size for speed, versatility, or size and mass in different situations. And that was really speculatory until, like you cannot get it much clearer than a mini Kaido inside of a bigger Kaido here. You know what I mean? So Kaido also grew big with his new technique. Yeah. Like, look at that size difference there, right? First panel of the chapter, Kaido's head is, say, the size of the tip of, the size, like, the width of Kaido's body, right, is, like, the tip of the Onigashima horn. then Kaido turns into magma, and you see Kaido's body there is at least the thickness of the horn in the first panel it's shown, right? So Kaido's body gets a bit thicker, goes at least as big as that, until Kaido clashes with Luffy. Like, it's almost like a progression of, like, Kaido was big, starts to expand, Luffy burns. As Kaido's expanding and going up to Luffy, Luffy's bringing down the fist. Which is an insane impact. So, okay. Chat, I do have to ask a question. Because we've seen in the past that Kaido's borrow breath, even though Kaido is, like, clear of his borrow breath, like, his borrow breath does some damage to him if it's reflected against him. We saw that with Raizo. You know what I mean? Ooh. Got a little bit of the hiccups there. So, my question is, Kaido produces fire, is not immune to the damage of fire. Kaido produces lightning, is not immune to the forces of lightning. Kaido produces magma and makes a magma shell, right? Is he only immune to the magma he makes? Like, if Akainu was here and did a Gear 3 size big hand and just grabbed Kaido, would that burn Kaido? Would it burn Kaido in base, number one? And number two, would it burn Kaido in this form? Or would it just be sort of like they cancel each other out as if they're almost two different elements? And so, like, Kaido wouldn't receive no damage in this form from the magma specifically. Right? Like, is being a fire dragon form, does this make him immune to fire? Because maybe I'm reaching too much. Because, like, at this point in time, there is some high tier durability. I mean, Luffy grabs this magma mofo and he scorches his hand a little bit. Like, he still hurts, but he scorches it a little bit, right? But Kaido here, it's hard to tell because it's like, is this actually Kaido at that size? Because when they're clashing, it looks like that's Kaido at that size. You don't see smaller Kaido in there, you know what I mean? Like, Luffy starts bringing the fist down. Kaido says, I'll take it head on. He starts spewing the magma out. You see a smaller Kaido inside the bigger Kaido. And then in all the other perspective shots past that, it looks as though Kaido has grown into that size. Because all the other perspective shots of Kaido's face, we don't see a little Kaido inside of the bigger Kaido's head, right? It's not a Susanoo. So Kaido's expanding in size while coating himself in magma, right? So, arguably, that magma is now like Kaido's scales. I would argue it would burn him. He isn't magma. He's immune to probably fire. He's a dragon, so has dragon scales, but magma is different. I'd argue again. That old Fleet Admiral would hurt him. That's because of elemental superiority. Yeah, but what I'm, like... I know he's called Flaming Drum Dragon here, but it looks like magma. It looks like how Oda depicts magma, not fire. And I'll bring it up. Ooh, what is it? What chapter is it? I'll do it this way. Right? View all chapters. Zoro vs. King. There we go. And I've got a feeling it's going to be the next one, not this one. Because... Oh, yeah. No, here it is. Imperial Guard Fire Dragon. So, King does the exact same sort of thing. And it looks like magma. It looks like how Oda depicts magma. You know what I'm saying? I would say that as long as it's magma that Kaido produces, he's got a natural defense against it. But once you introduce an outside element, he's most likely to take damage from it. Completely agree, Kuma. Like, arguably, is Marco immune to fire? Ooh, see, it's different there, right? Because Because what I'm saying here is Kaido is, if this isn't fire and it is magma, although it probably would say just magma, but say this is the hottest fire in One Piece, right? So it's like on equal or less than magma in One Piece, right? Since, you know, hierarchy of elements in One Piece, right? Like, hang on a second. Let's look at Akainu here in manga form, so you get what I'm saying, right? Like this. Oh, hopefully this works. Nope. That is a big nope. It's not centered on the screen, but you can kind of see how that coloring with the dotting, right, looks very similar to that with the coloring and the dotting, which looks very similar to this with the coloring and the dotting. I would say that King's one looks the least hot, then Kaido's in terms of the dotting, because it looks molten, and then if you look at Akainu's, it consistently looks like that. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. It looks magma-ish. Ace felt the burn and he's fire, but outside that, elements burn him. Yeah, so maybe the awakening then, or the upper limit then, of the Merimero no Mi is this type of fire. That's like on par with base level magma. Potentially. Maybe. Who knows? Yo, this is... Ooh, wait. Ooh. This is crazy, though. Because Kaido gets bloody huge. Which makes sense, because, like, at the beginning of the arc, he looked kilometers big, and then sometimes on top of Onigashima, he's like, hey, he's a little big. So Akainu's magma and Kaido could be very close in temperature. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, the way Oda likes to depict, like, that magma is how he's depicting these two dragons, and these two dragons seemed superior than regular fire. You know what I mean? Like, I'll read King's thing here. I'll remember you as a decent swordsman. If you survive me, I'll scar you so bad that you'll never forget. Imperial Guardian Fire Dragon, right? And they say fire because King can control fire. But, like, if you look at this thing, it looks molten. It's got those dotty effects that Akainu gets. I'll try and find a better example of it. His Great Eruption and stuff like that have it. Actually, even that. Can you kind of see? That's just Akainu when he's taking damage in his Logia form. See how you get that dotting effect? Hang on. I will help with this for a second. There. See this dotting effect here that he gets, or like this color effect here, the shaping. It is very similar to these. You know what I mean? Very similar indeed. But, like, the amount of dark shading seems to be the temperature, like the hotter part. You know what I mean? Like, the bright stuff, it makes it look hot, but, like, the bright stuff is, like, you know, it's cooling down, it's on the outside and that. Whereas the darker parts are where it's, like, molten, and it'll, like, snuff out the fire. And they look heavy. It looks heavy. Yeah, I got you. That would imply Kaido's fruit is better than a Logia because what's the point of being a master of an element if another fruit can mimic and even be immune to you? I always assumed he has hotter magma, stronger and more versatile than regular manga. If anything, Kaido would have average magma because old mate is the element. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, so say this is flaming drum dragon, right? Say this is like the peak fire can get. So Kaido can produce the hottest type of flame fire can get, which is the same that King can do naturally, which is what Ace's Mero no Me would be able to do as part of its ability, right? And that's like up here. The peak of fire is up here, and magma starts here at the peak of fire and can get hotter again, arguably, potentially. At least visually, with what we're seeing. Because, I mean, the effect that Kaido has here melting through the horn of Onigashima, we see Akainu do that shit all the time. You know what I mean? Then regular magma, if anything, Kaido would have average magma because his old mate is the element. That would kind of be like Monet being colder than Aokiji. Yeah, I get ya. Oda does right parallels in terms of some devil fruits with a stronger counterpart. If that's the case, then he can hurt Kaido, but Kaido with magma alone couldn't hurt him. Yes, but then I'd just make the argument that, like, in those situations, it's like Kaido versus Akainu would like start off as like Kaido has the air advantage, Akainu has the ground advantage. They clash on that sort of horizontal or diagonal plane. And there's elements being thrown all about from either side, but it relates mostly to like a Haki clash fight with like offcuts of element just destroying shit around them. Which is wild. Yo, this flashback was interesting though as well. What do you reckon, chat? Was this enough to like if Orochi is 100% dead here, is this enough emotional payoff right for the end for Orochi? Maybe that's hard to say without reading all the Orochi stuff back to back, because we've been waiting for it and like it's been timing down and timing down and timing down. But it's kind of fitting that like Orochi and Kaido are engulfed in flame. Orochi gets beheaded. Arguably next chapter Kaido could go down. Personally, I could see it going Orochi goes down, Kaido wins and goes up. Potentially. Because, I mean, shit, I didn't even say. This could be Kaido's awakening. Because he's a water, like he's a fish model blue dragon. So maybe his awakening is becoming a red fire dragon. Right? A molten dragon. But if not, like, Kaido still potentially has more up his sleeve. Could he do this with other elements? Could he become a lightning dragon or a wind dragon? Like, could you imagine if Kaido becomes, like, the body of the serpent is just a constant tornado and nothing can touch him, it just gets blown off? Or he's just like a big old lightning lizard in the sky. To be honest, I want a scene where Orochi was cowering and for every memory he has, a retainer cuts off one of his heads. Yes, please, agreed, Kuma. I don't feel he's paid for his sins yet. Just saying, this would be the 8th head of Orochi. But, mind you, it could still be his devil fruit has 8 heads and he defaults back to his normal body having 1 head. So he may essentially lose the ability of his devil fruit here and revert back to a human if he's not already dead. And in which case he may just be cowering in fear. You know what I mean? Because it was a dope move by Denjiro, but there were so many other guys with equal hatred for the Snake Shogun. Yeah, in all honesty, Zoro never got the payoff that he was saying that he wanted to kill Orochi. He already got to watch him die, but she didn't really... Like, it wasn't by her hand. Same with Momonosuke. It fits that Denjiro's present for it. I don't necessarily know if it was the right idea for him to be the one to end Orochi with his own hands. But then again, unlike any of the other scabbards, Denjiro suffered for 20 years as Orochi's subordinate. Which, you know, the old adage, never bite the hand that feeds you. Well, I mean, Orochi should have never bet the hand that fed Odin. And the consequence was Denjiro biting the hand that fed him in that situation by taking out Orochi. Even though he was never really on, Orochi's love. You get what I mean? Oh, interesting. Yo, that being said, we've been going for 40 minutes now. If you haven't done so already, like the channel, subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell icon for more notifications to content like this, alright? Don't be a butt. Make sure to give out the love. There's not a lot to this chapter, though. It really just opens up. Exactly, there were so many things leading up to a mass collection of guys killing off Orochi, but now, awkwardly enough, his death feels rushed. Yeah, no, look, I'm not going to say it's a bad death, it's just not as good as it could be. Especially for someone like Orochi that Oda keeps hammering home. It's like, you want to see him die, alright? So much so that you have to kill him multiple times. So why not make the final one important? Or did you sort of just go, ugh. Because... Ooh, hang on. Did Denjiro already cut off one of his heads anyway? When they were all running through the castle? What chapter was that? Hang on. It would have been a while ago, wouldn't it? I think it would have been in the tower with Hawkins. Around that time. From memory. If anyone remembers when the scabbards all took off Orochi's head, let me know, please. Actually, it would have been a few chapters before. He felt like a write-off, as if Oda was fed up and distracted by the Kaido and Luffy fight and wanted to move on and clean up loose ends. I mean, yeah, I can kind of see that. What about here? Twin Dragons. Can't remember where it is. By here, they're already down on the live floor, so it has to have been before all this even. Oh my god. Yo, how long ago did they cut his head off? They were starting the fires, so... That was before they all set up and paired up for their fights. Oh my god, this has been so long. Again, it felt a fitting death, but just lackluster, and we've been hyped for it since the beginning of. Yeah, no, 100%. I get you. Uh, 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 um. God, was it all the way back here? It would have had to have been around Night on the Board then. Which is insane to think that Orochi got decapitated that far back. Because, okay, here they're talking about Orochi being dead, right? I'm pretty sure. So what, give it a couple of weeks after that and we found out that Orochi was alive. And the second we find out Orochi's alive, he essentially gets cut down. Bloody hell, this arc is amazing, but it has gone on for so long. I wanted Hiyori to be really involved. The horror the man put her through, she should have gotten to be up close and personal and wanted to watch the light leave his eyes. Yeah, 100%. Like, it should have been her. She waited all these years and activates inactivities and put up with her during disguise. It should have been. That would have been good. Yeah, no, I get you. I 100% agree. Like, I was rooting for Hiyori being the one to take down Orochi, but I guess it is what it is. I'm just waiting to find where this Orochi's head cut off thing is. It has been so long because Kaido took down one of them. Denjiro's taken down one of them. I was just wondering because if Denjiro's already taken off one of his heads, which I feel like he may have, then I feel like that's a bit of a like it doesn't make sense for Denjiro to double up on it. Alright, so this is all them injured. So it's a few chapters after this. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, so Denjiro's already taken off one of Orochi's heads. So, okay, 6 heads, get taken off here. One head got taken off by Kaido. And one head gets taken off again by Denjiro. So that's the full 8. That feels kind of lackluster because, like if you look at it here, right? You got a head up the top right, a head down the bottom right, a head middle left, a head off to the side. So wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a head in the foreground. 6. So 6 heads got taken off in this one chapter. So 6 heads get taken off. Denjiro taking off one of them just for him to double back around and double tap. And I mean, yo, good on you for double tapping. But I feel like Denjiro already got a moment of killing Orochi there. Like, it makes sense, but like, I mean, shit, you couldn't have had Hiyori Like, you couldn't have had Denjiro come in just before this while Orochi had the nail in him, go to kill him. The nail slips out. Orochi, like, bumps Denjiro off to the side. Hiyori picks up the sword and cuts off Orochi's head. That wouldn't have been a touch more fitting, maybe? Odin would straight up tear through the heavens if he found out about Komurasaki's situation to give Orochi a phantom slap. Oh, 100% man would be turning over in his grave, spitting all kinds of chips, just like, this man. This is... Okay. I'm going to give this chapter a 7.5 out of 10. It may seem low, right? I loved it. The Kaido stuff was cool and hype. Like, the dragon thing was cool and hype. But it was just, like, a little bit of information. And a cool new transformation, which is good, right? But, like, we see them here start clashing. They're using advanced Rio and Conquerors. So, again, it's a Haki clash, just while Kaido's in a bigger form. And it's like, if Luffy gives out, the magma will burn him, right? The Orochi stuff, it was entertaining. I liked the setup of the civilians. I liked that setup. I don't know if I like the payoff with Denjiro, though. And this chapter essentially ended the way last chapter ended, again with Luffy and Kaido about to clash. But last time it was like, Luffy powered up, we're gonna clash. This time it was like, Kaido powered up and we're still gonna clash. So, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the best chapter. It had some really cool moments and some cool transformations and some cool things. I think it loses out, though, at least, like, this may be a good setup chapter, but it kind of loses out as a week-to-week chapter, in a way. The beginning I'd give a solid 8, but near the end, it whittled down to a 6. Yeah, no, I like, it had good highs. Like, Kaido's new form was like, woo-hoo-hoo! And the way you had me sitting here like, oh, I feel sorry for the people, you know. Even the lanterns at the end, like, free us from hell, please make Orochi disappear. I was like, chef's kiss. But then you fumble on the execution? I don't know about that. I don't know if I can get behind that, man. Just, Which is odd given the hype from last chapter. Yeah, no, I get it. Although, do you know what? I got a feeling that this is going to be the new wedding cake. Because I've been saying for the longest, it makes a lot of sense for Luffy to beat Kaido on chapter 1056. Because 56, Gomu, right? 1000 Gomus. You know what I mean? So it's sort of... The fact that this could potentially be an end-of-fight clash, and we're only 8 chapters, so 1 volume, away from a number that would make a lot of sense, where either Kaido's already down on that chapter, or goes down on that chapter. I could see Kaido starting to win this clash and out-muscle Luffy up in the sky, right? So, okay. Think of this. Luffy's coming down, Kaido's coming up. Kaido starts getting the advantage because of the new form. Luffy starts getting blown away because, low-key, Kaido's been handling with Gear 5 pretty reasonably, right? Momo manages to move Onigashima out of the way. Flashback to Rocks, because this is so similar to how Luffy defeated Shiggy, right, in Strong World. So, you know, like the diagonal clash, Luffy up in the air, There's a bit of clouds and that. There's some lightning about, right? Instead of the Shiki flashing back to defeated by a man from East Blue again, we get Kaido flashing back to because like it's set up as if Kaido's gonna win because he's overwhelming Luffy in the clash. It flashes back to the Rocks flashback as Luffy follows through, maybe making the fist even bigger, and flattens the out of this dragon. And in which case, it still feels a little lackluster in a way because it feels like Kaido still has more. Like Kaido literally is like, yeah, I'll take this head on. Like, could you imagine what Kaido would be capable of if the man knew how to dodge and kept dodging? Man needs to go take lessons from Piccolo and Gohan. Oh well. Definitely very interesting. Definitely interesting to say the least. 2 chapters to wind up. I'm gonna hit. Oh, you reckon it's gonna end at 1050? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. 1050 is a little. Maybe it's not too soon. It's hard because there's still so much potentially set up in this arc to keep happening. But when you get chapters like this, it does feel like it's dragging a little bit. A little bit. And normally I wouldn't mind it that much, but it's like this. It's getting to the Whole Cake Island fatigue stage now where it's like a lot of the cool stuff we were holding out to see is like over. And we keep getting the same cliffhangers, but we're not getting a lot of progression. Imagine how much filler is gonna go into the animated version of this fight. Yo, this is gonna be a back and forth like a rocking back and forth, cutting away to Orochi, who's just like, I can sense Kaido up in the heavens. He will destroy you all, but I will destroy you all too, and him. Head cut off. All that takes 3 episodes. 16 minutes still of just Luffy just going, See it now. Although that is unless the legend doesn't animate the episode. You know what I'm talking about. 1015. Alrighty. Well, look. I might wrap the stream up there. Try and get on over the weekend again for the discussion. Right? And, interesting in the coloured version here, they made Luffy's fist gold. Definitely don't think it's going to be gold. I think the whole gold Haki thing's sort of out the back door of this series at this point. But, yo, I'm going to wrap the stream up there. Kuma, if you want to ask a question to end the stream, yo, shoot it now, my guy. Shoot it now. And while I'm waiting for that, anyone that hasn't done so already, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icons for more notifications of content like this. Alright. Share the One Piece love. You know you want to. You know that's why you seek the One Piece content. And, let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts were of this chapter, and let me know if there's something I missed, or how you think the dynamic of Kaido's flaming drum dragon works, because it is definitely very interesting, to say the least. It is a very unique transformation. I wasn't expecting to see him turn into that, but it is really cool. And again, it begs the question, can he do this in other elements? Like, I could imagine a tornado version of this. I could imagine one that makes him look like an actual lightning bolt that's snaking around through the air. I mean, obviously fire's just his default, which, like, turns into the magma, but it would be very interesting if he's capable of doing this with other transformations too, or only the fire, because he can sort of produce that magma to cloak himself in. Ooh. You shooting your question, Kuma? If you could pick one arc and change the original outcome and the event in it, which would you pick and what would you change? Ooh. Okay. I see. This is a hard one for me. I want. I got two answers for this, and they're both very unique answers. Okay, the first one that came to my mind is I would change Skypiea, and I'd give a definitive answer as to Luffy versus Enel, because I don't know if you really remember this or notice this, but Luffy punches Enel with the giant bell, and it knocks Enel out, and in less than a chapter, he's back up, and it's just like he's been knocked away from Luffy, so he just leaves. There was no, there really was no final penance for Enel in that arc. It was definitely more like a, we disagree. I kicked your ass a bit. You felt what it's like to be mortal, and then we part ways. You know what I mean? The other one, and this might be a bit of a red hot controversial take, but it's along the same lines. I actually think I would change the end of Whole Cake Island to make it clear that Katakuri, like, because I believe Katakuri was stronger than Luffy there. I would just cement the idea that, like, Katakuri was clean. When Luffy gets up at the end and is like, what time is it? I would have a bit more going on there to be like, Katakuri's still the clean, still ready to fight. Luffy's not necessarily on his level yet, even though he's learnt Future Sight. He's still just not there. Whether you call that experience or whatever. Right? Just so that Luffy's progression through Wano, even though it's jumping colossally, it's piggybacking off the back of that. So, because especially when, I mean, realistically, as good as Big Mom looks, she hasn't been looking as good as Kaido in terms of amount of hits she can take and amount of damage she can deal with. Right? Like, Law and Kid, they're heavy hitters, but they're not as heavy as, say, Advanced Rio Conqueror's Luffy. And Kaido's taken a lot of those hits now all over the place. And it just sort of says to me, it's like, Kaido's got a bigger HP bar than Big Mom, and it seems significant at this point in time for a few reasons. Outside of the fact that Law does internal organ damage, so it's like, maybe those attacks from Law and his awakening do a lot more damage. It has me there, like, it makes Big Mom look a little bit bad, so it's like, the good thing about Big Mom and her crew is her crew was always hyped up and sick. Like, I didn't talk about this enough earlier in the chapter, but it's like, yo, Cracker's up. Cracker is an army of self-made Gear 4s. You know what I mean? Smoothie, we never got to see her, and she was supposed to be in this arc, man, but we never got to see her do significant stuff, because it's like, I find her really unique as well, because she fights as a giant. Her default is to gigantify to fight, and she uses water as a slashing technique. Plus, she's got, like, the crocodile one-hit drain you abilities. And then you got Katakuri, who far surpassed all of them. He's essentially an admiral, right? That just has a weaker devil fruit. A significantly weaker devil fruit. Which just, like, hard caps him there. And it's like, looking back on it and looking at how much Luffy's struggling against Kaido and that now, and even, like, Marco and stuff like that, it's like, I feel like I would have just preferred that a little bit more cemented in at the end, so you don't get people that are like, Luffy clearly surpassed Katakuri during the fight and was completely overtaken him, and Katakuri was left in the dust, and I don't subscribe to that bandwagon. It's okay if you do. I don't. I feel like there's a lot more to that fight than that. And I feel like Oda left that ending, even that last hit, just a touch too ambiguous for people, that it feels like a lot of people don't necessarily pick up on some of the more subtle tones of that fight and ending, and the way the climax rolled out. But yeah, that is what it is. Rant over, alright? That being said, like I said before, I've said it 100 times and I'll keep saying it. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for more notifications for content like this. Alright, keep an eye out over the weekend for the discussion stream over this chapter. Peace, nothing but love, nothing but respect. Have a damn good day. Love you all. Good night. Goodbye.